I do believe 100% wholeheartedly that we are image bearers of Christ. And so in that, we can't destroy the image of Christ in the womb, out of the womb. You look at other countries and they're doing eugenics. This is going to happen here, and abortion is just step one in that plan.
Eugenics? You mean like based on like genes, trying to get people with the same genes?
Yeah.
Did you hear Donald Trump saying 2 days ago that immigrants were people with bad genes?
I did not hear that. And I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I would say that all immigrants, no matter where you are, no matter what race you are, ethnicity, you are created in the image of God.
Donald Trump is trying absolutely anything to connect with young white male voters. And of course, all he has is racism, and a little bit more bigotry.
If he was to make the other the touchstone of the election, he could drive a train right from that ambition and that realization all the way to the White House. He did, and now he is doubling down on it in a way that is so scary. The way he speaks of Latino immigrants is so blatantly racist. It is intolerable, poisoning the blood of our country. It's in their genes. I firmly believe that murder is in their genes. Who's he talking about? Is he talking about me? Is he talking about my dad? Is he talking about my children? I think that it is unforgivable, intolerable, and flat out stone cold racist.
Look, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. You're going to have crime, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. Oh, look who we have. Byron said that, please. Superstar of the future. He's already a superstar, but he's a superstar of the future. Byron Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. That's good. He's great. He's great. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good. But we have a group of people.
So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
Kelly describing how Trump would praise Nazi leader Adolf Hitler, who orchestrated the systematic murder of 6 million Jews and caused World War II.
He commented more than once that, that Hitler did some good things too.
Kelly's on-the-record first-hand account following similar reporting in The Atlantic, including a private conversation at the White House, where, according to Kelly, Trump asked why his generals couldn't be more like Hitler's generals.
Well, I tell him that. I said, first of all, you should never say that. But if you knew what Hitler was all about from the beginning to the end, everything he did was in support of his racist, fascist life, philosophy, so that nothing he did you could argue was good.
The Trump campaign calling that an outrageous lie.
When Kamala came in, she deliberately dismantled our border and threw open the gates. She threw them open. The gates to an invasion of criminal migrants from prisons and jails, from insane asylums and mental institutions, from all over the world, from Venezuela to the Congo in Africa. A lot of people coming out of the Congo, not just South America. They're coming from 181 countries as of yesterday. Right, and we're a dumping ground. We're like a garbage can for the world. That's what's happened. That's what's happened to. We're like a garbage can. It's the first time I've ever said that, and every time I come up and talk about what they've done to our country, I get angrier and angrier. First time I've ever said garbage can, but you know what? It's a very accurate description.
What does MAGA mean to you then? So Make America Great Again, what does that mean to you?
The America I grew up with, we want it back. We want people to stop censoring us. We want them to stay away from our Second Amendment. We want freedom of religion. So if you're a conservative, if you're a Christian, if you're white, you're a male, it doesn't matter what color you are. We want people to be respected for who they are. We don't need to have stones of infinity stones because you're black, you're gay, you're trans. We just want everybody to be treated equal. And they're trying to say that we're the party of the racist party when they're the ones actually wanting Jim Crow rules back.
In what way?
Colleges, they want to have black and white graduations. They want to separate us.
Where do they want that?
What colleges? Man, look. Okay, I don't know. Google it.
Make America great again. What does that mean to you? What's the again?
To me, the again means that we have somewhere safe where we can have those freedoms that we are so lucky to enjoy. There are so many people throughout the world that do not have what we have, and it is a blessing. That's why we have people that want to be here, and we will fully encompass all of that greatness again.
When did we last have it, if it's again?
I feel like we did have that when President Trump was in office. I feel like we can work with what he built on in the first presidency and make it even better.
When he was running in 2016, it was before he'd even been president, but he was still saying, make it great again. Again from when?
That is a good question. I would say if I could guess, it would be, and I think that they're very politically lined up, would be maybe with JFK. And when he was president, and what we embodied with some optimism and freedoms that we didn't have before, and trying to find that.
When was America last great?
4 years ago, or 3 years ago.
Well, he was saying it before he got there. He was saying make it great again. So he didn't think. What did that message mean to you then?
I felt President Reagan was an excellent president too.
And nobody between Reagan and Trump.
I am not a Democrat, so.
Well, you had George Bush there, and you had George Bush's son.
He was right, yeah, but I still liked President Reagan.
Make America great again. It's been his mantra since he's run in 2015. What does that mean? What is again? When was America great?
Well, that question right there says everything that I need to know about you, that you don't really think America was ever great at any time. I think America was great. The spirit, the whole purpose for America was about the American spirit, coming here and making something for yourself and having the opportunity to do that for yourself, to work hard. And that's what America is all about. So the people that hate America will always say, well, when was it ever great? It's just not a very good attitude to have, in my opinion.
And when was that lost in your estimation?
I think a lot of it was lost when the Federal Reserve took over the money system. We need to go back to a gold and silver-backed system where currency it counts.
What does make America great again mean to you?
It means stopping the invasion of our nation by illegal immigration. It means rebuilding our economy that's been destroyed by the Biden administration. And it means making us secure in the world again through our strength in the world that keeps the whole world in check.
What does that mean to you, the again part of that? When was it great to you?
Supposed to have been great in the founding era. Then it got changed in the middle 1800s, and I won't go into all the details because that's too long of a story.
But that was slavery and the Civil War.
It's a little different than that.
In the final days of the campaign, Donald Trump is canceling everything. You know, not only he didn't do the 60 Minutes, and he didn't do the debate with Kamala. He didn't do the second debate. He didn't even show up to the town hall. He's not doing anything because the more people see of him, the more they dislike him. You know, so he's staying in his little echo chamber within his little bubble because that's the only place he really can prosper. That's the only place he really can thrive. And then what we're seeing is the same thing as in 2022, where Republicans are flooding the market with these right-wing posters. But at the end of the day, how does that really help Donald Trump win? How does that help Republicans? You would think that if you showed that he's a little behind in these new polls, that would motivate the base to really go vote. It would motivate the base to organize more. But all of this at the end of the day is for Donald Trump's ego and for Donald Trump's feelings. You look at the early voting numbers, they're really not looking good for Donald Trump. In fact, early voter surveys have shown that lots of Republicans, in fact, are voting for Kamala Harris, rather. I mean, obviously, they're still voting for Trump, but he has lost a lot of Republicans and he doesn't have the independents now. So I don't really see how this is helping him. But at the end of the day, it's looking good. All y'all got to do is get out there and vote if you haven't already.